to the interview room. Muzzy checking in, the time's here. How you all doing? All right, let's begin. Let's have a chat about the fact that I want to interview the best fighters in the world, and that's that. Had a lot of guests from everywhere, all across the globe. Fighters.
How are we, guys and girls and guys? Muzzy here from Muay Thai Interviews again. My next guest is from Melbourne, Australia. He used to train under Peter Hatton out of Fighters Express, but he now trains at Fighting Fit in Pakenham, Victoria. Last week, he won the 63.5 kilogram four-man tournament on Warriors Way 22. He got his revenge on Indigo Boyd in the first fight, winning by unanimous decision, and then he also won against Quan Tren in the final. He's had an extremely busy year fighting and recently just became a father to a baby girl. I'm joined by Ramesh, the headhunter Habib. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, good, thanks, brother.
How's it going out there? First of all, before we get into all the good stuff and fighting, congrats on the arrival of your daughter about 5-6 months ago, I think it was. So how's fatherhood treating you?
Thanks, bro. Yeah, she's about to turn 5 months in probably like 4 days or something. Yeah, it's amazing. She's keeping us busy, but yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way.
No, definitely
amazing.
Not. Definitely. Yeah, kids, they change you. When you're young, you think, oh, I'm never going to have a kid. I'm just going to be single and party. But then as you get older, it all changes and goes out the window.
100%.
So, mate, you are also the proud owner of a brand new shiny belt, taking out the four-man on Warriors Way the other weekend. Congratulations on that. And tell me about your fight camp, because you said in the lead up to this that was the hardest you've ever trained for a fight. So what did you do differently this time compared to all the other times you've ever trained for a fight?
Thanks, bro. Yeah, we my mate Jesse's been helping me with training, and yeah, we've been training like 3.5 sessions every day, and pretty much as soon as I walk in the door, he's with me, pushing me, pretty much till I walk out of the door. So we've been doing a lot of especially as we got close to the fight, we did a lot of interval and sprint training. Did a lot of plyometrics training, which sort of lacked in my training before. And yeah, a lot of pad rounds, a lot of kicks and knees, got me doing up to like 1,000 knees a day, and also clinching too. Jesse's got a strong clinch game too. He's been showing me some stuff. We've been clinching as well, which is another thing which I liked in my previous camps.
Yeah.
Coming from sort of like a kickboxing gym, there wasn't many guys for me to clinch with before. So yeah, we trained really hard, implemented a bit of strength training as well, and and he's just there like pushing me every time. Yeah, like I slowed down or whatever, he was just getting me to keep going and pick up, and yeah, trained really hard, felt fit. Especially because I just had the fight on Rebellion against Brandon Spain, so I only had like a week off, and then we're just straight back into it, and I didn't really lose any fitness, and yeah, I was like ready to go straight away. So yeah, it was good
So
camp.
This new gym that you're at, Fighting Fit, is it predominantly a Muay Thai gym?
Yeah, the gym's massive. It's got everything there, from weights to everything, and like group fitness rooms, and it's got a huge like MMA area with heaps of mat space, bags. It's got a ring, it's got a cage as well. At the moment, it's just just striking. At the moment, I'm running the classes there now, so Muay Thai and boxing. But in the mornings, it's just train myself with Jesse, and he's there helping me push.
So you're a full-time fighter, and when you are working, you're actually working at a gym. So you're just constantly living, breathing, fighting.
Pretty much, yeah. Everything's Muay Thai, kickboxing, boxing.
That's a pretty cool life to have, my friend.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And since the arrival of your baby daughter, have you had to do anything differently or change the way or when you train to accommodate for her?
Yeah, especially at the start, it was really hard with her waking up every couple of hours, middle of the night. It was hard to get sleep, and my missus was working, so That's why it's sort of a reason also why I'm not traveling to Dandenong anymore to train at Fighters Express. It's finding it's close to my home. It's like 10-15 minutes drive from my place. So instead of driving an hour to Dandenong on the back, now I'm just driving 15 minutes there, 10-15 minutes back. So yeah, I'm close to home. So if my missus and my baby needs me, I can quickly rush back, whatever I'm doing. And yeah.
Yeah, nice, mate. And I also noticed, looking at your photos in the lead up to your four-man tournament, you were training alongside Jabba Oscarov. What was it like training alongside him, and what did you learn from him?
Yeah, well, I've trained with Jabba a few times. First met him many years ago, probably like 6 years ago or something in Thailand. At Sasi Prabha gym there in Salim. Met him there. He's the owner of Fighters Express now. And since then, he's come down and trained and had camps with us here in Melbourne probably 3 or 4 times. And for this, especially his last fight he had a couple of months ago, me and Jabba was sparring like twice a week. Every week we're sparring like twice a week. So it's always good to spar someone like him at his level.
Yeah.
It's just there's just one way of Jabba. There's no easy or light sparring with him. It's always just go
Yeah.
for the kill. So it's good to have someone like that to train alongside and spar with.
I've noticed with your fighting style, you tend to do really, really well against aggressive opponents. I don't know if it's because sometimes they end up getting the shits and just biting down, and they end up telegraphing their shots or what it is. But I've noticed, when you fight against people that are aggressive and like to walk forward, that's when you fight better, because it's like you can pick them off and you can pick holes in their games.
Yeah, well, I've always been a tall fighter for my weight division. I've fought a lot of guys shorter than me who want to come inside and gap the distance. I've fought pretty tall guys too, even taller than me, but majority have been shorter, and they've been sort of walk-up style fighters, which work really well for my style, because I can pick them off as they're coming inside. And I've got a pretty good timing, so I can see their shots coming. I can move out of their shots and just pick them off as they're coming in. So it works well for me, especially being a taller fighter. I'll like to step up knees and then switch up left kicks to the body, to the arms as they're coming in.
Yep.
So it works well for my style.
Yeah, mate. Now, I'm keen to have a little chat about your four-man. You said at the weigh-ins that you really wanted to fight Indigo because the first time you two fought, he stopped you with a cut. You did that, and then you took out the tournament by beating Kwan in the final. Where does that rank in terms of achievements in your career so far?
I was really happy with that night. I did want Indigo. I really wanted that rematch. I didn't think it was going to be happening anytime soon. As soon as Hammer pretty much rang me and asked me about the four-man, first person he mentioned was Indigo, and I said yes straight away before he even mentioned the rest of the names. Most people that were there or seen it, I was first fight. It was a good fight. I felt like I was ahead on points pretty comfortably, and then second round, he cut me, and I wasn't. The cut didn't hurt me at all. I wasn't rocked, nothing, but it was a deep cut, and the doctor stopped it, and I was it's pretty shitty way to lose, but so I really wanted that rematch. So when I got Indigo first, I was pretty happy, got the win, unanimous decision, and then I had a feeling I was going to have Kwan in the final, and Kwan was he was surprising me. He was a lot stronger than I thought. He was very solid. Just kept coming forward. It was kind of weird because some of his punches was like it sort of came like sort of slow, because like I see them and then I would think like I've got to move, but then it'll hit me like a second later, and then I'll look at myself like, how did they get me? I could see these coming, but it was solid punches, but none of it really fazed me or affected me. So started using the step up knees against him and the switch up left kicks as he was coming in,
Yeah.
timing him as he was coming in, and then always try to finish last with the hands or the legs.
Did you
So, yeah.
did you hurt your right leg during any of those two fights? Because I noticed, especially in the final, you didn't really throw your right kick that much.
No, I was actually came out pretty damage free with both fights, but both the fights, given they were just 3 minute rounds, they were both really coming forward, putting the pressure on, trying to stay close so I can use my range and my kicks,
Yeah.
which I'm known for. So, and the left kick, the switch kick worked well, timing it as they were coming inside.
Yeah.
So they were sort of walking into them. With the right kicks, I sort of like to usually I either work it off my hands or when I got a bit of distance to set it up. And so everyone's sort of expecting the right high kick, given the name the headhunter. So it was pretty. Both were pretty fast-paced fights. There wasn't too much time to think, and they went by pretty quick.
I noticed in that fight you were switching up your stance a bit from orthodox to southpaw and then back to orthodox again. Is that something that you were specifically you've been working on?
I've always sort of done it here and there. But for this camp, me and Jesse did work on switching up stances, and we worked working off the southpaw.
Yep.
And the left kick just comes real natural from there. So and people are not always used to the southpaw or a fighter that changes halfway through the round. They're used to fighting an orthodox and then changing. Then they're like, now I'm fighting the southpaw, and then working techniques of the southpaw and then changing back to orthodox again, just to confuse the opponent. So they sort of don't know where things are coming from, different angles and stuff.
Yeah, because when you were switching up your stance, you reminded me of another Aussie fighter, Charlie Bubb. He likes to switch up his stance all the time. I mean, when I was watching some of his fights at the start, I was like, he's a southpaw, and then I'd watch some other fights and it's like, no, he's an orthodox, and then I was like, which is he? And then I thought, all right, I know which he's gonna, whatever he is, he's gonna stand properly in front of Toby, so then I'll know. So then I was like, he's actually an orthodox. But yeah, you remind me of him a bit because he switches up his stance all the time. And like I said, I didn't even know. I thought he was a southpaw originally, but no, he just switches up his stance quite a fair bit.
Not many fighters tend to do that. I think it's not easy. It's not easy, but it takes a bit of practice and coordination to be able to work techniques off a southpaw, being a right-handed person, and it takes a lot of skill.
Well, it's funny you said that because I asked a couple of gyms in Thailand, like, what have you noticed in Thailand? There's so many southpaw fighters.
Yeah.
Well, apparently most of them are orthodox, but they just fight southpaw because they think fighting southpaw against the orthodox fighter is easier.
Yeah.
So
they just get trained as a southpaw.
They just get trained with it in southpaw as well.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I heard that even Yotson player was right-handed, but he just trained as a southpaw since he was a kid, I think.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Not sure if it's true, but I heard that.
Mate, now in saying that, you started off your martial arts journey at 14 doing kung fu with your brother Ramesh, and then you made the transition to kickboxing and Muay Thai. How did you originally come to be at the Fighters Express training under Peter Hatton?
Yes, my brother got into martial arts, kung fu, when we were younger, and I was pretty young at the time, and he used to nag me to go train with him, and I was just like, nah, I just want to stay home, play PlayStation, leave me alone. And then I was 14 when I first went into the gym with him, and pretty much after that first session, I don't think I missed a session after that. We were both there pretty much every single day, and I did that for like 7-8 months or so. Had a couple of little semi-contact tournaments, and I started winning a few of them by sort of like TKO stoppage too. And then I sort of went, I want to start fighting like full contact, but they're not like telling you, go easy on the head or pull back a bit.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I want to do like proper full contact fighting. So we got into kickboxing more, and sort of stopped kung fu. Um, because when we were young, we just watched a lot of the Bruce Lee and martial arts movies, Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and we
Chuck
thought, like,
Norris.
this is Chuck Norris, like, this is the shit. Until we realized that real fighting's it's totally different, doesn't work that way. So that's when I started looking at things differently. So we got into kickboxing, and then had a couple of amateurs. Had my first amateur when I was 15. I think I had three, and then Peter Haddon came down. His gym that he was at the moment, I think at that time he shut down, so he came down to the gym that I was at there, Lifestyle Kung Fu, and he was teaching out of there using the kickboxing area there for a while. So then we started training with Peter, who had a lot of kickboxing experience, and met all the boys, Franco, Paulie, Salim. I've known Salim since we were kids as well. Met all the boys there. Started training with Peter. Had a few more amateur fights, and then when Peter sort of left there to open up another Fighters Express, I left. We left that gym, and I went down with Peter and started training with him. So trained and fought under Peter Haddon and Fighters Express for probably like nearly 10 years, probably 9 years or so, over 9 years. And all the boys were like my brothers, all the boys there. One of my brothers, Paulie, who's helped me a lot early in my career, and he's always still there in my corner till today. He's always helped me in my corner. He taps my hands for every fight. And he's helped me a lot throughout. He's taught me a lot when I was starting out. Also Franco with the boxing, we did a lot of boxing rounds over the years. Really made my hands sharper and quicker. And and then later on, also Hussein Al Mansouri joined up as well with us. Became part of the crew as well. And we've had many fighters come and go, but we were sort of the main. Also, my brother as well, who was there from the start with me, Habib. And then people like Jabber Asparov came down as well and sort of joined the crew as well. And that's sort of how we sort of started training with Peter and Fighters Express.
Yeah, nice. It's been a hell of a ride. What I wanted to ask you was, going back to your Kung Fu days, when you do Kung Fu, do they teach you traditionally to stand in a southpaw stance?
Every technique that we work at both off orthodox and southpaw. Every technique we did both stands, we did both hands for every technique, both legs for every kick technique. Yeah, we worked the same thing on either side for every technique.
So would you say that that's helped with your fundamentals, and maybe that's why you find it quite easy to switch between your stances when you bring it over to kickboxing and Muay Thai?
No, not really. I've always been sort of like flexible and being able to throw a lot of like high kicks, and doing the Kung Fu sort of really started working on the kicks and the techniques. But when I sort of got into kickboxing, it was a little bit different, and I was just mainly worked off an orthodox stance until later on in my career I started working, then sort of started changing up and stuff. That came probably more later in my career though, after I had a fair few fights.
Yeah, okay. And your brother Ramesh, as I mentioned, he's also a fighter. So out of the two of you, who's better and who wins the sparring sessions? Yeah.
Many times we've been asked this. I just look and I laugh. We've got completely different styles, different. He's obviously a different weight as well. He's not so much of a sort of traditional sort of kickboxer, Thai fighter. He's got a different style, and he's also done transition and done. He's had a handful of MMA fights too. So Muay Thai kickboxing is more my thing, so to say. He's had a few injuries over the years too, so he hasn't been as active as I have been. He's more sort of like He loves his MMA too, and he loves his kickboxing. So sort of chops and changes.
Now, I know that you
I hope
originally.
that answers your question.
It did, but it didn't. You didn't want to. No, that's all good. Now, I know you started off in kickboxing and then you made the transition to Muay Thai. So, where does your heart lie, with Muay Thai or kickboxing?
It's a good question. I love them both. Um, I love I love Muay Thai, fighting Muay Thai. Um, I feel like it's a bit more complete, where you can sort of do more. You
Yeah,
can got the knees and the sweeps and the catching and all that. But at the same time, I love K1 style kickboxing. That's sort of my bread and butter where I started.
mm.
Um, and I feel like it can be a bit more exciting and fast paced. Um, but at the same time, Muay Thai can also be very exciting. I think it depends on the fighter. So certain fighters can make fights a bit more boring.
Yeah,
Either discipline they're fighting, doesn't matter. But yeah, I really like fighting Muay Thai, but I really like fighting K1 too. So I take I, especially right now, I'm training sort of um just pretty much Muay Thai. But like I'll take, if a K1 fight comes up, next month I'll take it. Or if a Muay Thai fight comes up next month, I'll take it. So whatever's there.
Have you ever, like, because you're doing a lot of Muay Thai training, and if you go into a K1 fight, have you ever been tempted to, like, throw an elbow and then you sort of got to, like, go, no, I can't do that in a fight?
Not really. I don't know about other people, but myself, when same thing when I used to do boxing sparring, people used to ask me, "Oh, when you're sparring boxing, do you ever want to throw like a leg kick or something, or a head kick?" It's I actually even had one pro boxing fight, but it's when I'm doing Muay Thai, it's like, I don't know, it's like my brain just switches to just, I know I'm doing Muay Thai.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to throw elbows like these. When I do K1, it's like I'm only doing K1. I don't even think about throwing an elbow. And the same thing as when I'm doing boxing, I sort of change up my stance and obviously the distance and the footwork, and I just get into the zone of just letting the hands go, and I don't even think about throwing a kick when I'm just boxing. So I just adjust to whatever style I'm doing.
Yeah, okay, nice. And I watched an interview you did, it would have been a fair while back now, but you said that you also wanted to get into MMA and one day fight in the UFC. Do you still have that ambition?
Yes, that ambition will always be there. I still would like to give a crack at MMA one day. I've been asked by people, even promoters, to give MMA a crack. I would like to, but at this moment, there's still a lot that I want to sort of achieve and accomplish
Yeah.
in the stand-up game that I still want to do. So yeah, not at the moment.
Do you?
One day.
Yeah, for sure. And do you do much groundwork?
No, not really. I haven't really done much groundwork at the moment. Um, I guess when I decide to give it a crack, yeah, then I'll sort of really get down into it and just pretty much focus on the grappling, because I've already got the stand up experience,
Yeah.
and then I'll just focus on my time on grappling when I decide to have an MMA fight.
Yeah, sure, mate, sure. And earlier on in the year, you fought and won in China, fighting K1. Tell me about that experience, and have you got any plans to fight there again?
Yeah, for on WLF show in I think it was Zhengzhou. Yeah, we got asked. Peter asked me, "You want to fight in China?" I said, "Yeah, we'll take it." It was funny because I was fighting on Rebellion against Barry Oliver, first time I fought him, and this China show was literally the weekend after, and we already said yes, knowing we were fighting on Rebellion. So I fought on Rebellion. I fought Barry. I won, and then the next weekend I fought up in China. So the shins were a little bit sort of banged up, but still we went there and we fought, had a good hard fight. The Chinese boys are tough, very tough. Just keep coming forward.
Yeah.
We got the win there as well, so it was happy days. But yeah, it was a good experience, good show to fight on, and I would like to fight up in China again. Um, no plans as of at the moment, but yeah, as soon as anything comes up, yeah, I'll take it.
Were you at all hesitant, or not hesitant, but wary going into that fight with Barry, knowing that you're going to fight again in a week's time? So was there sort of that element of don't get cut, don't get too banged up?
Yeah, I guess I sort of just didn't. It was there in the back of my mind, but when I stepped in the ring, I sort of didn't think about it. I was just like, we got to get past this fight first.
Yeah,
Once this fight's over and done, and then we'll focus on. It was sort of the same as having the four-man fight. Like, cause before me and Indigo for Klein was fighting Albert, and the boys, my corner boys, were watching the fight. Like, talking about the fight, and like, I was saying, if you fight Kwan next, you should do this, do that. But we're like, alright, but we'll just focus on this first fight first. Focus on Indigo first. We'll take this fight out, and then we'll worry about whoever we fight next. Sort of the same. Just focused on that fight. Won that fight. Came out of it pretty injury free. Just had a few knocks and bangs on the shins.
yeah.
But yeah, it didn't really affect me too much when I fought in China though.
Yeah, cool, man, cool. And another thing I wanted to ask you is, in your last fight on Rebellion against Brandon Spain, we saw you cut weight in the sauna, where they did a little video in the lead up to the week leading up to the fight. Is that your preferred method when you cut, and how much do you usually cut to make 63 and a half?
Usually when I'm training leading up to the fight, a couple of weeks out, I'll usually be down to about 69 or so kilos. So the last 5 days, I do the water load.
Yeah.
So start water loading from 5 days out, and then gradually decreasing the water intake. And within those 5 days, not having any carbs, salt or sugar, as they retain water. So it's not easy. It's hard. I always dread that week of fight coming up, knowing I've got to water load and yeah, not being able to have salt and carbs. It's hard for me.
Yeah.
Growing up being an Afghan, with almost everything we eat has salt and carbs in it.
Yep.
So it's not easy, but yeah, gradually we usually decrease weight with the water loading, and then I usually have like a couple of kilos left to cut, either 2.5 to 3 kilos, and I'll do 1 to 1.5 kilos the night before, and I'll do whatever's left on the day of the weigh-in, a kilo or a kilo and a half, just one of that as well, and then yeah, we
That's
should be on weight.
that's interesting that you said in the last few days you don't eat salt, carbs, or sugar. So, what do you eat?
A lot of sort of vegetables and sort of chicken, sort of like clean meat. But it's hard because it tastes so bad when there's no salt in it. But
Yeah, quite bland, isn't it?
yeah. So you can have sort of like clean fats and proteins, just no carbs. And salt and sugar and salt.
How long have you been doing this method for? And like when you first started, has your methods? Well, I'm guessing your methods would have changed, like the more knowledge and the more trial and error, I guess you could say, leading up to weight cuts.
Yeah. Just the last probably couple of years, I started doing this water loading method. I actually got it from my mate and training partner as well, Franco,
Yep.
from Fires Express. Before I was I was just sort of starved myself and did whatever I had left in the sauna.
Yeah.
I didn't really do it properly. I knew of water loading. I had no idea how it worked. I thought maybe I should start drinking a lot of water the night before the weigh-ins, but I didn't know. It's meant to start out 5 days and then you gradually decrease.
Yeah.
And by the night before the weigh-in, it can only drink only 900 mils. So I was doing it exactly the opposite of how I should have been doing it. And I didn't know about the carbs and the salt and the sodium, holding the water. And I was pretty Yeah, I didn't have much knowledge in cutting weight earlier before,
Yeah.
but the last couple of years I've been using this method, and it's been working well, especially as I've been growing. I've been obviously I was putting on a bit of weight as well, so I wasn't cutting as much earlier years. Now that I've got more weight to cut, it's got to be done properly,
Yeah.
and so I still feel good on the night of the fight.
So, if you could give some advice to young people or up and comers who are just starting out their fight careers in regards to cutting weight, what would it be?
Um, Especially early on in the careers, I don't think fighters should be cutting much weight.
Yeah.
Not more than like 3-4 kilos, probably max.
Yeah.
Just having a healthy diet throughout your fight camp, and should keep you close to your fight weight, or a couple of kilos off, and then you could try the water loading method. It's not easy, and it's probably not very healthy for you, but it helps. If you want to lose the water weight, it helps. And if you got whatever a kilo or two left, and you can just sauna that, sweat it out in the sauna. But I'm not a big fan of cutting too much weight.
Yeah.
But for myself, I've been fighting at this weight for a long time, and I feel like 63.5 kilograms is one of the most busiest divisions in the country. So
Yep, for sure.
I do want to fight at this weight because most of the fighters are at this weight.
Yeah.
I have fought heavier before, but I feel the most comfortable at this weight. So yeah.
When you in 24 hours after you've weighed in, so when you're standing in the ring, how much do you reckon you weigh then?
Probably back up to 70.
Yeah,
70
it's
kilos.
a big advantage to have, isn't it?
Yeah, 69, 70 kilos on when I'm stepping in the ring.
Yeah, definitely, mate, definitely. Now, in saying that, you have fought with some of the best fighters Australia has to offer you, and you are certainly at the top of that pool as well. But if there is anyone that you haven't fought that you would like to fight in Australia, or even international opponents for that matter?
In Australia, I fought a lot of fighters in my weight. One of the fighters that I haven't fought is probably Alexi, is one that people have been asking us to fight for a long time, which just hasn't really happened. Who else is there? I fought a lot of fighters. I'm trying to think. I've never been one to sort of like call anybody out. I just sort of whoever the promoter sort of puts in front of me, I just take the fight.
Yeah.
So another one, Victorian one, is River Days. People have been asking us to fight each other as well. But again, if it happens, it happens. If anyone wants to put it on and they want to fight.
Can he fight? He just got signed to Glory. Can he fight?
Yeah, he's signed to Glory now. He's for 2 years. He's going to be fighting. He's got, I think, 8 fight contract for 2 years in Glory.
So that means he's out.
So yeah, I think all the best to him. I think he'll do really well. He's got a good style for it. Roy Wills, I fought once before, which was a close fight. I'd probably like to get that rematch one day as well. As far as international goes, I don't know. So I don't know. It's whatever sort of comes next. There's no one that's really on like my hit list or anything. But I just want to keep fighting the best till to become the best.
Would you be looking at getting more international bouts? And sort of like, because everyone in Australia knows who you are, but would you be looking at going international and try and take your name globally?
Yes, 100%. I've been fighting for nearly 10 years now, so I've been fighting locally and in Australia for a long time. I'd love to get some fights in some of the bigger shows, overseas, either Glory or won championship now as well. They're doing the kickboxing
Yeah.
and the Muay Thai. So, and I think I'm pretty well known in the country. Yeah, but I would like to get my name outside of Australia as well. Get that world stage recognition and start fighting some of the best in the world. I think I have the skills to mix it up with the best in the world. So, especially having like years of sparring and training with guys like Jabba. Um, I'd like to start mixing it up with some of the best fighters around the world.
And would you love to have a crack at like Muay Thai in the 4-ounce gloves, fingerless gloves?
Yes, I would like to give that a crack too. I would like to either they're doing it up in Thailand at the MX.
Yep.
Also, Joe Empire runs the Cage Muay Thai up in Queensland. I think that'll work well for my style. I like to let my hands go too when I fight, and I think it'll be more of an advantage having the smaller gloves.
Yep.
I'd like to give the 4-ounce gloves MMA. 4-ounce gloves Muay Thai a go.
Definitely, mate. I think all the fighters would love that as well.
Yeah.
Now, I've got to ask, when you fight, you look extremely calm. Your body's like nice and relaxed, loose with fluid motions, and sometimes you almost look bored in the ring. How do you prepare yourself mentally for battle?
For me, it's just another day in the office for me. I know certain fighters like to sort of get hyped up or hype themselves up by either like listening to like music or like getting their trainers or friends to yell at them or slap them in the face or something.
Yeah.
For me, it's always just been sort of like, even early in my career, I knew I did the training. It's time to fight. I get to the ring. I get to the venue and I'll be calm, relaxed. I'll be backstage having a chat with my mates, having a laugh. And I've been asked by many people, hey, you're so relaxed. Tell me what drugs you're on. How can you be so relaxed knowing that you're going out fighting like either like a Thai with over 100 fights or anyone? For me, I just take it as another day. I'm just relaxed, calm in there. And I don't like try to like really hype myself up or anything. Even when I step into the ring, I'm still like relaxed and calm. I feel like I probably fight the best that way because I'm fighting calm, collected, and I'm thinking and sort of instead of just going out just guns blazing.
Yeah. That's why I said at the start, I think you do really well against the aggressive opponents because that's you do have that calm and you have that mentally focused and you're mentally sharp, so you can see everything. Whether sometimes when people fight on aggression, they're just fighting on anger.
Yeah, on emotion. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now, mate, one thing I wanted to ask you. Being a proud Muslim, during certain times of the year, you usually have to fast as part of your religion and faith. So does that impact the way or when you train at all in order to get the rest and recovery that you need between each session?
Yeah, we fast once a year, every year. So during that time, usually I either take time off and sort of just rest up the body and just concentrate on my faith and Ramadan fasting.
Yep.
Spending time with my family and going to the mosque for prayers.
Yep.
Unless if I do have a fight coming up, I would sometimes train later at night after I've been able to eat and stuff, and
Yep.
I would sort of have a session at night. Nothing too crazy. Obviously, I haven't eaten throughout the day. Don't have all the energy, but sort of just like to have a sort of like decent session just to sort of maintain so I don't lose too much fitness, and then when Ramadan's finished, pick everything back up again, start going hard again.
Are you allowed to drink water during the day during that period?
No,
or nothing?
No water, no food, nothing until from the moment the sun rises. No food, no water, nothing until the sun sets.
Oh, mate, you're a better man than what I am. I don't think I could fast that long for that for that frequently as well. How long is it? What is it? What?
I guess for a month, 30 days.
A month.
Yeah, 30 days.
You're definitely a way better person than me, mate. Now, mate, you've had a really busy and productive year fighting. What's the plans for the rest of the year? Are you looking to squeeze maybe 1 or 2 more fights in before the year is out, or are you just going to take some time off and spend it with your little family?
I'm planning on having one more to finish off the year. There's a couple of options that I'm just waiting to hear back. As soon as like they're confirmed, and then I'll put it up. Sort of just waiting to hear back still. But I want to definitely get one more in before the year ends, and then just relax, enjoy the holidays till next year.
Well, excellent, mate. You've got me excited. And if people want to contact you, follow you, stay up to date with your training and fighting and all that jazz, how can they get a hold of you?
Yep. I've got my Facebook, and I've also got my Facebook athletes page, Ramesh, the Headhunter Habib. Also my Instagram, it's the Headhunter with 2 underscores in between. They can follow me on them, either of them. Just my up-to-date everyday training or videos I put up, or just leading up to fights and events.
And mate, anyone that you want to thank or give a shout out to before I let you go?
Yep. I just want to thank. First off Peter Hedden for the years that he put all that time into me over the years, and I wouldn't be where I am today without him. Fought under him and Fighters Express for a long time, nearly 10 years. So owe a lot to them. All my friends and family that have supported me over these years. And a big thank you to my wife Lara for supporting me throughout all my training camps, and especially now looking after taking care of our baby and myself at the same time. So every fight, leading up to fights, and always preparing my meals for me and everything, and especially both of us having a busy life with work and the baby. So she's always there, always supporting me. So I appreciate that, and so it's been a good ride so far.
Certainly has, mate. It certainly has. Well, I think I speak for everyone when I say you have a beautiful style, and it's an absolute joy to watch. So I can't wait to see you back in centering again. And I can't wait if you've got an announcement. So I can't wait to hear it and see who and when, where you're fighting. So thanks for your time, bro. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate that. Thanks, bro. Thank you.
I got a passion for the heart of 8 limbs. I'm just asking from the heart. So as I conclude this interview, thanks so much for sitting through. Loved all the fighters and the folks that listen. This for you.